Okay, so I'm starting the Arizona Trail soon. The Arizona Trail is 800 miles from the Mexico border all the way across the state of Arizona up to Utah. And this is going to be what I eat in 3 days. For this trip, I am sending myself some boxes. I'm doing 4 boxes and then 3 resupplies from grocery stores in towns. And partly why I do that is by sending boxes to certain tricky places that I've researched beforehand, I don't have to hitchhike. So I'm not going to hitchhike a single time during this through hike. And by sending boxes, I can make that happen. Also, I feel that boxes are a little bit faster and a little bit more efficient since I don't have to go to a grocery store. I don't have to hitchhike into a town. I can just send myself this food, pick up my box, have everything I need, know that I have all my calories here, and be good to go. Just stuff it in my pack and head out. Anyway, let's get into this stuff. This is going to be what I eat in 3 days, and on these boxes I like to write myself little notes here. So this is about 3,300 calories per day. Which on these types of trips, I generally start out with a little bit less, the first week of the trip, the first 2 weeks of the trip, and then as I get deeper into it, I carry a bit more. So 4 weeks into this trip, I'll probably be carrying a little bit more like 5,000 calories a day. But I know for that first week, that first box, number 1, I'm just not going to have the appetite on a trip like this. So 3,300 calories per day for this box, which comes out to be about 5 pounds. So that's 5 pounds for 3 days. So something I really try and focus on is calorically dense food. Food that is both going to have a lot of nutritional value, but also is going to be very light for how many calories I'm getting. So, back to these little notes. This is my first box out of the 4. This is for 120 miles into my trip. I'm picking up this box. There's 77 miles to my next town, to my next resupply. This is going to take me 3 days, so I have 3 days worth of food to do that 77 miles. And I'm going to have to average roughly 26 miles a day to 30 miles a day to achieve that. So, I write those notes on here to kind of remind myself as I'm going what I'm doing. So let's get into actually what I got here. So here is all my food for 3 days. Actually, basically 2.5. As you notice, I have 2 dinners here and no dinner here. So basically, how I start out my day is generally going to be with a Bobo's bar. It's kind of like oatmeal in bar form. It's 360 calories. My favorite one is the maple pecan. I think they are delicious, and it's just a great way to start my day. Throughout my day, I generally just snack, and overall, something you'll notice is I carry a lot of bars and a lot of stuff that I can eat while moving. So all of this stuff, I can easily just whip it out and eat it as I'm walking, so I can get more miles, and I don't have to stop and prepare a lunch or a dinner or a breakfast or anything. Well, actually, I do have dinners. So, Cliff Bar, my favorite is actually the carrot cake one, but I also love blueberry crisp. Kind Bar, I think that's nice, salty, got lots of nuts in it. Snickers for those times where, maybe I'm not feeling so great and I need a pick-me-up. Luna Bar, I love it, very, very tasty and also has some good stuff in it. So each one of these is roughly like 200 calories. I think the Snickers has like 440, 200 for the Kind, 240 for the Cliff Bar, 360, and the Meal Bar by Pro Bar is 360 or more. So, generally I want to be eating, say, 200 or 100 calories every hour throughout the day. So every hour on the hour, my watch will beep and I will eat something. So I also have 300 calories of beef jerky a day. And I also carry a little thing of coffee, either Folgers or I have some Starbucks Via. I'm not really the biggest coffee person, and I don't really care for hot coffee, so none of this food is being cooked, even my dinner. My dinner is something that I can cold soak. This is dehydrated, refried beans with some rice and some taco seasoning. I can just add this into a plastic jar with some water. I let it sit for about 30 minutes and then it's good to eat. I will also add some Fritos to that. So I'm having rice and beans with a nice crunchy, like tortilla chip essentially, Fritos. I also have a little bag of nuts here. You know, these are just salted peanuts. Sometimes I'll do trail mix instead, but you know, something you'll notice instantly is every day I basically eat the same thing. And one of the reasons I do that is it's just easier to plan. I can buy things cheaper when I'm buying them in bulk. And in general, when I go to the grocery store, it's super simple if all I have to do is buy 20 Cliff Bars, 20 Kind Bars, 20 Snickers bars, and 20 Lunas. You know, I'm not going to the grocery store like, oh, I have 20 days worth of trail that I have to get through and buy food for. What the heck am I going to buy? You know, so by eating the same thing each day, it really helps plan that stuff out and make it a lot easier for me. Now, each day I also eat about 300 calories worth of chips. I'm partial to the Sun Chips, but in each box I have something a little bit different. And then each day I will have a little bit of extra something, you know. So in this box I have these vanilla yogurt raisins. Some other boxes I have dried fruit, you know, but in general just something a little bit extra, whereas everything you see like here is kind of the core of it. Now, since this is the desert, I also have some electrolyte packets, Propel, and on top of the Propel I have Noon. I know water is going to be nasty in some places on the Arizona Trail, so I think it's important to have something to kind of flavor my water, and since this is also the desert, having something that is going to replenish my electrolytes as I go. So I'm going with Noon and Propel, but you know, there's a million different things out there. In the past I had done GU packets, GU packets, like ultra runners do, and I loved those. Now, as for anything else, you notice there's a couple more things here. And I think that's kind of the good thing about a box, is you can send yourself some stuff that you're not going to find in a town. Whether that is with food if you want to go fancier than I do, or whether that's extra socks. You know, so I'm sending myself some fresh socks, and I'm also sending myself a little note. So, you know, a little bit of a note to kind of pick me up and remind myself of what I'm doing, why I'm out there, and maybe not push myself too hard. Listen to my body, as it says right there in the note. So that is basically what I eat in 3 days on trail. I've done this on every trail imaginable. You know, I've packed boxes for every town stop on a thru hike before, where I didn't buy from a grocery store a single time. I have done half and half, like how I'm doing here, where I have 4 boxes and 3 town resupply stops. I've also done it the other way, where I had no boxes. And I think it's nice in this case, and for a lot of people with a little bit of experience, to do half and half. You know, so that way you have that highly strict and regimented plan for food, but then also every once in a while you can go into town and you can just buy whatever your heart desires. Anyway, it's snowing here. This is northern Arizona, actually a trail town of the Arizona Trail, Flagstaff, AZ. And, you know, chances are I think this is like 600 miles into the trail. All this snow is going to be melted and gone long before I get here on my hike. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. If you aren't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. You know, I hope you learned something from this video, or got something out of it, or just thought it was interesting how I do things. You know, as always, I'm not telling you how to do things. This is just how I like to do things, right? You know, feel free to pack healthier than I do, and feel free to pack less healthier than I do. You know, everyone does it different, and I think that's the beauty of backpacking, that there's a million different ways that you can do it. So, thank you guys, and I will see you soon.